Obviously, there's some risk aversion this morning. Everyone's kind of a wait and see mode, but the markets had or here. There's obviously a little bit more. There's obviously a little bit more to this. I think that if the U.S. market were to manage to hold today to get some sort of support, that we could really see a potential reversal over the next couple weeks, and we could see markets go higher. I think this is something that we got to watch closely, and I think we need to watch this yen closely. You can see here we're kind of breaking out from this little recent downtrend here, and put this into a flag pattern and back it out over. This is really where there's a major level here, and when we back this out a little bit, this really looks like a quite a nice little flag pattern that we're potentially breaking out of on the dollar yen. So I think this is really important to watch. We start to see the S&P gaining some strength today. I wouldn't be surprised to see our markets really be able to show a reversal, a nice reversal to the upside. So let's watch this one. Let's watch the market closely today. Watch the yen closely. Let's see what happens. Again, let's look a little bit more stock specific here. Let's have a look at Exaro. What is going to show in Exaro? We've kind of got a bit of a head and shoulder pattern forming here. You can see there. We've put in a shoulder kind of as of yesterday, potentially. This would kind of be our neckline. So I think if we get below 141, we could really see lower levels on a closing basis. I think we could see lower levels in Exaro. This one has really been disappointing kind of going forward, and obviously if we break below the previous lows at 137, then we can really get ugly. So watch that one. Breweries is one we've talked about a lot recently. I'll back it out a little bit here. But breweries, obviously we know there's major support here in breweries that we've tested, several times, probably 4 times over the past 20 sessions or so. But where it gets interesting really is if you look here on the pattern also looking very much like a beautiful flag pattern here on the back of backing this out. I mean, this is just a very consistent uptrend. So you see the fact that we're in this nice uptrend here. We've held throughout this. The fact that we're kind of in a flag pattern at the moment, it all just looks really good. You got to realize this thing's been beat up really hard in the UK as well. So watch this one closely. I really think that if we break out here, maybe above, I would call it 510, 511 on a closing basis. And breweries, I think we could see, if we could close above 511, I really think we could see a little bit more upside. It's really right on the nose is where we closed last night. All right, Amplats. I'll shorten this up a little bit. Obviously, we've trended downward into this. Let me actually back it out just a little bit so it doesn't look so squashed. But we're really making a bit of a wedge pattern here, narrowing wedge that's just continued to get tighter and tighter over the past month and a half, maybe even 2 months. And I like this just because the consolidation on the back of this monster drop here is really telling. I mean, statistically, the probabilities that you would think would be for us to break to the downside here. So I would, if anything, I would be favoring the downside here. But a breakout to either side of this, we could get a nice move one way or another. So, that band is really down to about, I would call it 10 Rand at the moment. So there's not a lot of wiggle room, and I would say that I would want to see it break out maybe 3 or 4 Rand to either side before I would even try to make a play on the back of that. So watch this closely, and on the long side I wouldn't touch it unless we really got above these highs recently, right around maybe 330. So just watch this one closely. If anything, I'd be favoring the downside on a breakout. I'd feel more comfortable entering a trade like that. All right, so Anglo Gold. Anglo Gold, we've also been talking about this for a few sessions now. We've kind of seen this one just meandering down to this same sort of setup that we looked at in the physical gold. The pattern looks a little bit similar. We've taken out support any way you look at it here, and we made a new closing low yesterday. We also, I can just jump into this real quick on the New York Stock Exchange, and you can see there pattern looks absolutely brilliant as of day before yesterday. It really started to break down there. We also made a new closing low, and multi-year closing low. I don't know how many years back, but it's years back to find these levels. So anyway you slice it, Anglo Gold's really looking rough at the moment. Last one I'm going to show locally here here is Aspen. I'm just going to back out here a little bit. We are kind of looking like we might end up putting in a little bit of a head and shoulders here, with this being the neckline. But I think, we really broke above 200 on a closing basis. This would have been where the other shoulder would have ended. I think we've really broken out there. We've managed to hold trend line support. If you back it out a little bit. So I would say, however you look at it, this is really it's a nice bullish breakout on the day. We also, in a way, you could look at this, I guess, as a little bit of a flag pattern. We've obviously broken out of this downtrend, kind of flagging off of a retest of these lows. So I think that Aspen starting to put in some good bullish price action. Wouldn't be surprised to see it trade back up to recent highs on the back of yesterday's news and action. All right, and the last one I'm going to show is British Aerospace and the UK, really breaking out here. A little bit, same sort of thing, kind of coming out of a bit of a flag pattern. Really kind of made a bit of a false break to the downside there. We've managed to reverse, and as of yesterday, we broke out to the upside out of that flag. I think this thing has potential to really trade up, probably 10-15% from here. So keep an eye on that one if you're punting a little bit overseas. That's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot.